Javi has just like become obsessed with putting Mike up on IG and has like fully made his own stories all about Mike and how awesome Mike is.
So funny.
And every
He
little
fake
thing about
account
his
for him
hair,
too.
his personality.
He's dancing in the newsroom. It's hilarious.
He is.
He made a fake account for Mike?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
What do they call
He
this?
also made a Tinder profile for Mike.
He did. That I did not know.
It's official Mike Manuzak.
With the ponytail or not with the ponytail?
I think that one's with.
That one's with, I believe, but it's got great videos like this one.
Wait, what is happening?
Looks inappropriate.
Yes.
Not following the official Mike Manuzak, you need to.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love it. Ah.
Wow.
And I gotta
put some funk on that one.
He's put some funk on it. I gotta say, we started this discussion because it sounds like he cut off his ponytail, which makes us all very upset.
Yeah. We have some very funny people on staff that we work
we
with, and
do.
some you wouldn't know till you got to know them, and Mike is one of those amazing people.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Now we're gonna see. Go ahead. I was going to keep talking about the ponytail.
Yeah, I know. Ms. Felicia Lawrence, Mr. John Hanson, I'm Amy Rutledge. Thanks for watching The Jam, folks.
All right, let's get a look at your weather because we have some rain moving through the area. Live look outside with the Royal Sonesta Chicago Riverfront cam. You can see just some specks of rain on the windshield. No, on the glass there. Radar shows just some spotty showers here and there. They're pretty light in nature. The freezing stuff well into Wisconsin. It's going to rain for a bit though. It's going to plan out through the next few hours through tomorrow. So tomorrow morning will be rainy as well, and then pretty much all day tomorrow till the late afternoon hours. Clears out though in the 3-day forecast. Looking okay as we get through Friday, and then we're warming up till Saturday. They said I couldn't do that in 45 seconds. That was 33 seconds, your weather report. So,
They're going to argue. They're going to argue that it was like the intro and weather went over, so.
I started it early and everything.
Okay. Technicalities there. Let's keep it moving, guys, with Chicago in 60. So all CPS teachers are now eligible to get the COVID vaccine at district sites. CEO Janice Jackson aims to have all staff receive a dose of the vaccine by the end of this month. So we should have more and more students and more people back to school very soon. An Illinois court rules a woman struck and knocked unconscious by a foul ball at Wrigley Field can move forward with a lawsuit against Major League Baseball. The court says even though an arbitration provision was written in fine print on the back of a ticket stub, that's not good enough. Not good enough. And after false rumors on social media, Chicago's top doc is confirming no COVID vaccines are going to waste at the United Center. The United Center is at capacity. Staff are booking 5,700 appointments a day. The site's drive-through opens next week, so they're expecting to bump that up to 6,000 appointments a day.
That's awesome and crazy at the same time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to when Chicago goes into 1C, which will be by the end of the month, so that hopefully the entire state of Illinois is at the same place, because there's been a lot of confusion about who can or who can't get the vaccine.
I imagine this is probably pretty common, though, in other states like Illinois that have a major, large metropolis, in the center or somewhere, like New York, I'm sure, too. Upstate New York probably is very different. So all dealing the same thing.
23% of Illinoisans have gotten their vaccine, and 12% have gotten their second. We're right in the middle, a little above the middle of the pack.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there, Felicia.
No, good. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. I'll move on then. Speaking about confusion with vaccines, a new wrinkle in the Trump Tower vaccination story. Block Club Chicago reporting that Eric Trump, of course, son of the former president, was also vaccinated along with the hotel workers at Trump Tower. So the COO, that's him on the right at Loretto Hospital, he shared this photo with friends saying that they had vaccinated the former president's son and that he was, quote, a cool guy. Now, the Loretto Hospital exec says, no, I was joking. We didn't vaccinate Eric at Trump Tower. The mayor says she's going to look into this. Certainly, that's the latest information on that. But I said yesterday, this could happen at any hotel. The Trump name doesn't matter at all. And then they were like, you know what? Actually, boom, here's another part of the story.
What? And then they're saying, oh no, I was just kidding. This whole thing screams PR nightmare. I mean, no, this isn't it doesn't seem like it's a criminal kind of thing, but I mean, it definitely seems inappropriate, especially when, again, these vaccinations were supposed to go to people on the South and West sides, communities that have been ravaged by the COVID vaccine. I don't know. This is not shocking.
Well, let's just flip the script a little bit, okay, and try to look at it from a positive standpoint. And let me just say, so maybe Eric Trump was there and got a vaccination to encourage more people to get vaccinated. You know, former President Trump last night said it's a good idea for you to get vaccinated. Maybe this was Eric Trump's way of getting more people involved in the vaccination process. Maybe.
That's not
you're
what they
giving too much
said.
credit. No, because even now they're saying that the Loretto Hospital COO says Eric did not get vaccinated there, and actually he's a little bit anti-vax. So there you go. So
Wow.
yeah, I know, right?
I was trying.
You were trying.
You tried really hard.
You tried. And I will give credit where credit's due. I'm glad President Trump said that. That's good. We were railing him the other day for not saying it. So hopefully that makes some sort of a difference with his many followers.
Yes.
No.
All right. Let's get on to something a little bit more.
I'm not buying it. 500,000 Americans later, I'm not buying it, baby.
Okay.
No, I hear you.
I ain't selling it.
All right.
So there you go.
Let's get on to something that Felicia will be buying. Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream is partnering with Dolly Parton to create a new flavor. Sales will benefit Dolly's Imagination Library that gives free books to kids. So the flavor has not been named yet, or announced at least yet. So we took a stab at it. Let's bring in Brandon because he had a couple of ideas as well. Take a look at some of these. Okay. First off, working wine to 5. So
I'll try it.
Flavor. Yeah. Okay. Leave the alcohol in.
You had me
Also,
at wine.
right? Pina colada ice cream. Oh wait, islands in the cream. Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
Also, dumb blonde batter, which I don't really like that one because she's like the last dumb blonde in the world. She's not dumb at all, so that's kind of actually not good.
But her
Okay.
song is Dumb
Maybe
Blonde.
in fun of it
I
though, a little
know.
bit, you know?
I know. She made fun of it too. I get it, but she's a smart cookie,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She is
Uh,
very smart.
Ooh, smart cookie. That'd
also-
be a good one.
Smart cookie. There you go. Here you rum again.
This one, I did this one. Oh, I'm very
Wait, I
proud
don't
of
get
that.
it. What's the
That's one of
connection?
her songs. Here you
Here
go
run
again.
again. Here you run
Run
again
again.
is the song.
Yeah, okay.
Here you rum
Yeah, that's
again
good.
is the replacement. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
good.
cute.
Way to
That's
stretch
good.
those brainwaves, Brandon.
Oh, they said, here
I
you
will-
come again. Okay,
Yeah.
here you come again. Okay.
I will always Dove you, which is weird because that's a partnership with Dove Chocolate, I'm assuming, or she wants to eat birds.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no.
Dove
It's
chocolate.
come on, hold on. That's Dove chocolate.
Kidding.
They're like cut up and frozen in there. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those little swirls. Little chocolate swirls of Dove chocolate. Yeah, that sounds heavenly.
All right, and last
Okay.
but not least, PB and Jolene. Oh, I do like that
Yes.
song, Jolene.
That
Okay, that's
one's
a
a good
good one.
one.
That's a good one.
That's
I
a good
take,
one.
I take credit for that. That's a good
Okay,
one. That was,
clearly
That's
you
a good
saved
one,
the best
people.
for last here.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Um,
let me just say, have you guys seen there is a Dolly Parton documentary that is out on Netflix, by the way, if you haven't watched it, she's amazing. It was so cool to see her backstory a little bit, and a lot of these songs are in it. So highly
I love
there's
recommend.
her.
another suggestion. There's a podcast called Dolly Parton's America that talks about how Dolly Parton is like the most apolitical, unifying, nonpartisan force
Yes.
there is out there. And it's amazing. So if you are into podcasts, Dolly Parton's America, that's a good one.
Good to know.
That sounds
Thanks, folks.
interesting.
You know, our producers
Yeah.
are wondering what the heck is wrong with us, and I've just got to be perfectly honest here. Lily, who I love our producer. She's amazing. We had a professional dispute over this because I wanted to do not from wine to 5. I wanted to do working wine to chive and get rhymes for both 9 and 5. And I thought that was funnier, and she disagreed.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, was she right? Am I wrong here?
No, she
She's
was
right.
right. You were wrong.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I'll
Like
take
a
it. Then. That's
Professional
fine.
dispute.
Lily, you were right.
Who puts chives in ice cream, John
Nobody,
Hanson?
but it's a joke segment. It's a joke. It's a joke segment. We're making our
Do you
favorite
guys-
ice cream
Have you guys
flavors.
never eaten Ben and Jerry? Like, gotta get a little bit more creative with the flavors in there and the names.
Yes. Yes.
Is
And I
there
only say that
chives
because
in
I
Ben
actually
and
didn't offer
Jerry's?
up a suggestion, so I'm only
Find me
complaining
the
because I
Ben
didn't
and
offer
Jerry's with some
anything.
chives in it. Some sour cream and chive Ben and Jerry's. Maybe I'll
Blech.
think about it.
Fine, you're all right. Lily's right. Afia's right. Our other boss. Everybody's right.
It's just
Well,
mad we
don't-
didn't like your idea.
Brandon,
be
you
so
better
down
take us
about it,
away
John.
before John starts crying.
I
Yes.
should. I should. All right,
plan.
guys. Well, if you have wanderlust and feel that need to escape, your future travel opportunities may depend on a special health passport. We're going to explain after the break.
All right, the European Union then laid out plan for vaccine passports as more people plan summer travel. So these digital or paper documents show which vaccines the holder has had and if they've had COVID. The EU vaccine passports will debut in June.
And in the U.S., the TSA says it's seen record numbers of flyers over the last week. Here to discuss whether such documents could help here in the U.S., travel author and journalist Christopher Elliot. And Christopher, first of all, how would these vaccine passports actually work? How are they working now in the EU?
Well, what we do know is that the most developed of all of these vaccine passports is in Israel. It's called a green passport, and there it is an app-based certification that people have when they get their vaccines, and they use it to do things like go to the restaurant or go to public meetings and to travel as well. So that's really what the EU hopes to do with its digital green certificate as well.
So I immediately think, obviously, how it's going to spread across different countries. And so here, obviously, in the U.S., we've got HIPAA laws. We also got anti-vaxxers. So has there been any discussion on how that would play out with these passports?
Everything is very hypothetical and theoretical right now. We do know that when you receive a vaccine, you get a small piece of paper from the CDC that says you've received both of your shots. Problem is, that is not a secure document. I can go online and buy one of those right now for $20 and fill it out. Problem solved. So what we really need is a way to securely verify that someone has received a vaccine. Right now, the solution that I like the best would be a vaccine database that we use temporarily and then throw away. We discard it. We delete it at the end of the pandemic. That way, all of the privacy advocates are happy.
Chris, how do you think the public would respond to something like that, having to have this extra documentation to prove they're vaccinated before they fly?
I think they'll respond well. And the reason I say that is that we already have a vaccine passport requirement. When I went to Africa a couple of years ago, I had to get a yellow card that's issued by the World Health Organization that had all of my shots in it. When I got to Kenya, the first thing that they asked for before they asked for my passport was to see my shots. And they would not allow me into the country unless I could show that I had my shots. So I think people will be very understanding that this is an important thing, and that it's also going to end at some point. So we won't need these vaccine passports anymore.
Yeah, I lived overseas as well, and we had to keep up on all of that stuff. You wonder if that's going to translate into domestic travel as well, and then what will happen with some people worried about their rights being violated, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And I think that, for now, it would be an international thing. Right now, you have to have a negative COVID test taken within 3 days of your departure for flights coming back into the United States. That's a requirement already by the CDC. For domestic travel, it's a little bit trickier because right now we could travel between states. We don't have to show an ID of any kind or a passport. And so having to show a vaccine passport, that kind of smacks of a papers, please society. We would not want something like that.
One more question. We're running out of time here, but with more people getting vaccinated, have you seen any indication that travel is going up or there's been a boost?
Oh, yeah. Travel is definitely increasing. TSA already reports more than 1 million travelers every day. Those are just air travelers. We do know that more people travel by car, and we can see more people out on the road. Florida is telling people not to come for spring break because there's too many people. So we know people are starting to travel already. That's going to pick up as the summer starts.
Chris, thank you so much. We really appreciate your insight.
Yeah, thank you. And for more travel tips
You're
and
very
expert
welcome.
advice, check out Chris on Facebook and Twitter and at chriselliots.com. Felicia.
Yeah. Okay. Take a look at this. This is a video of me getting vaccinated, you guys. Don't wait, vaccinate. Myself and my family, my husband owns a restaurant. We work in a restaurant. So we felt this was the safest thing for us to do was to get vaccinated. If you qualify for one of the groups that's eligible to get it, don't wait, vaccinate. CW26 and the Chicago Sun-Times are teaming up to bring you reliable information on the COVID-19 vaccine. Find everything you need to know from state health officials. We can tell you how to register to where you can get your vaccine by going to our website, cw26chicago.com. Brandon.
All right, coming up, riding a roller coaster this summer in one state will come with a very strange condition. That coming up at 6:30. We'll be right back.
With you. Sorry. Growth. Okay, one of Chicago's most successful bakers pivoted from pies to pastrami a few years back in honor of her family. Take a look.
My name is Ursula Seiker, and I am the owner of Jeff and Jude's Deli in Humboldt Park, Chicago. So I'm originally from Los Angeles. I moved to Chicago 5 years ago in 2016, and I was previously running Hoosier Mama Pie Company for 3.5 years over in Ukrainian Village. I decided to kind of go out on my own and open a Jewish deli because it was something I really missed about being back home. Jeff and Jude's is named after my parents. Jeff is my dad and Judy is my stepmom. My dad's side of the family is culturally Jewish, and my stepmom is from North Carolina. So I really wanted to do a concept that kind of paid homage to both of them. While it's predominantly Jewish deli, there's elements of Southern comfort cooking in a lot of what I do. So some of the items that I had for you today were the pastrami on rye. It's a marble rye that we make in-house with a whole grain mustard, and a pastrami that we also smoke and cure in-house. Our Reuben sandwich, which is a classic corned beef, sauerkraut, Russian dressing, and Swiss cheese, also on that same marble rye. Our California chicken salad, which is a chicken thigh with grapes, walnuts, celery, lightly tossed in mayo on our house-made challah. Our matzo ball soup, which is a stock made in-house overnight with one big matzo ball, some carrots, and chicken. We're really proud of that one because my grandpa specifically would only return soups that had more than one matzo ball in it, so it was really important to have the one big one in there. A regala and a black and white cookie, both of which are just really classic Jewish cookies that we decided did not need a twist on them at all and just did a really traditional take on. Our latkes, which we make in-house, also very classic. We have a potato and kale knish, and then we also have a sweet potato and pimento cheese. The sweet potato pimento cheese is kind of like my southern take on a knish, where you're gonna have these really southern kind of elements inside of a really traditional Jewish pastry. And then the potato and kale was something that I grew up with being a dual Dutch-American citizen, where we had something called stamppot boerenkool at dinner very often. So it's mashed potatoes and kale. Something that we're really proud of here is that we cure and bake pretty much everything in-house, with the exception of our bagels, which we pick up every weekend from New York Bagel and Bialy, because some things you just can't do better than New York Bagel and Bialy. We're really excited to have you come by and try us out sometime soon. We don't have seating yet, but we will be working on it when the time comes and it feels safe to do so. So in the meantime, just come on in and pick something up to go.
Oh my God, I used to live like 2 blocks away from there, and one of the saddest things about moving away from there. They're incredible, a great spot, and if you love them, there's plenty more where that came from. Chicago Food to Go, highlighting all the great spots. Sundays at 11:30 on CW26. And we'll be right back. Sorry, I didn't get, what was your out time that you wanted, Lily? Okay.
All right, time for a deep dish. So this was a question asked to an advice column in the Washington Post. It says, I made a huge mistake at work. How can I stop beating myself up for it? The column gave some great advice about meditation, mindfulness, breathing exercises, but all way too philosophical for this show anyway, right? So what do you guys do when you screw up at work? Let's start with John Hanson.
Oh, me? Okay. Well, I always admit to any mistakes I make. I know that seems silly and righteous to say, but I get over it pretty quickly. I don't know if it's because I have a lot of practice making mistakes and Like, I'm not embarrassed to make mistakes. I think that's something that comes with age in your career, right? Like, they're going to happen. So my advice is stupid, but it's just get over it. Move on.
Yeah, it's funny that you say though, John. Like, it depends on what the mistake is. Like, oh, I wrote something
Yes.
wrong. I submitted a graphic wrong. I had a recent mistake that was kind of like, oh boy, kind of thing, and it literally bothered me for days. I couldn't get out of the hole because I was like, I would have never done this before. How could I have done this? Like, and I was just like, and I knew it could possibly get me in trouble. So I was stressed.
Was it something you
And
said on air, or was it something else like behind the?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, she's like, I am not trying to relive it. She's not trying to relive it, John.
I'm just saying it happened.
That's why my
And
chuckle
so-
came up.
As buttoned up as Amy is at times, like I think that is what we need. I guess my point is it can happen to anybody, and it has happened to everyone. And so we need to take a break, step back. I always try to ask myself in the future, okay, is this going to matter in 6 months, next month, in a year, 5 years? Does this actually matter? So that's something that gives me peace, gives me a little hope for the future that, hopefully it all gets better.
Not to stress anybody out, but we're in the middle of a pandemic and everyone's worried about keeping a job. So it's like, oh man, you don't want to screw up big time, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Well, I think it all just starts with accountability, right? It all starts with just being able to check yourself in the mirror and own up to it, whatever the mistake was, and be honest and open about it and move on from there. That's really all you can do in the end.
Brandon.
We all make mistakes. I made a bajillion mistakes.
I just
we're
also
gonna make
like.
10.
Obviously, it depends on the job. Like, there's life and death decisions that people make that are way
100%.
different than what we do. But like, if you work anywhere, like in a creative place or like any sort of office, like mistakes, I know, like if they're regular and they've been told you shouldn't do X, Y, or Z, and you keep doing it, that's annoying. But like, if you're in a creative field and you're putting yourself out there in any sort of job you have, mistakes are going to happen. In fact, mistakes are not the worst thing in the world. Like, that means you're true, you're authentic, you're real, you're coming up with new ideas, trying new things. Like, mistakes are going to happen.
That's what I was
bosses
doing.
Don't accept certain mistakes. Exactly. This is a long way to say, Amy, you were fine. It was all good. No big deal.
If you're a doctor, ignore all this. Mistakes do matter if you're a doctor.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. Surgeon.
We'll be back.
What
Is that
noise
your
is
dog?
that? Yeah, what is?
Okay, everybody, it's a wonderful Wednesday, and welcome.
We haven't said, by the way, I don't think we said it's St. Patrick's Day, so that's why two of us are
St.
wearing
Patrick's
green
Day. I
today.
love that you guys are wearing your green. I'm wearing my Irish every day, so.
No, right.
I'm like, what happened, Amy? What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I got to start off this half hour on a little bit of a serious note. Well, a lot of a serious note, I should say. 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long is charged with 8 counts of murder and 1 count of aggravated assault in connection to the deadly shootings at 3 spas in and around the Atlanta area on Tuesday. 6 of the 8 victims were of Asian descent. Long told investigators he was motivated by a sexual addiction. We will keep you up to date on this.
Well, New York City officials are making moves to decriminalize sex work. The district attorney has dismissed 700 cases against people charged with loitering for the purpose of prostitution. Now, this law was repealed too often because too often it targets women, trans people, and people of color based solely on their appearance. I think this is so interesting. It's extremely progressive. And I mean, a lot of people have been advocating that sex work is real work. A lot of women are forced into these scenarios, put in these positions, these desperate positions. So that's something to take into account as they work to prosecute this.
Yeah, a lot of girls that were forced into it at a young age. It's all they know. They continue it as a career. To see them get prosecuted is like heartbreaking. I love to see that we're getting a little bit more progressive and a little bit more lenient on how situations play out. And I hope this kind of rolls over into other areas of law as well.
It's the oldest job, they say, right? Like, that's
the
the joke about
oldest
prostitution,
profession.
right? A lot of people choose to choose sex work as their line of work.
Yeah.
And I have never, ever understood why that should not be legal wherever you are. I understand why, of course, minors in certain situations, you would never allow that sort of thing to be happening. But once you are 18 years of age, I do not get. I mean, first of all, you're not stopping it, and you're not stopping it. People are going to do it. So you might as well regulate it, have taxes, have strict codes on how, women need to be treated. I mean, you lived in Nevada, right? I mean, you have to deal with a lot of these issues.
Yes, but you think about it too, and I will just say this too, like you think about if you add mental health issues into this too, some people are forced into it and can't get out of it because they have other issues that are kind of like closing their parameters. So I did appreciate the fact that that was keeping that from happening. But as long as they're being more progressive about looking at all these issues, why someone is doing that? Are you choosing to do this? Someone forcing you to do this? Do you not understand the way things in the world work? Like that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, these are all, again, general statements that we can't, not everybody fits in the umbrella to your point, John. But the point that they're trying to make is not to criminalize this, but to also see a lot of these people as victims. But I definitely hear what you're saying, John. Some people choose to do this.
Whenever we try to overregulate something that is seen as like taboo, we do a much worse disservice, especially to these women. Like, I think in Nevada, and Amy, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I was going to jump in on that too.
They have to register, right? Like, it's a regulated thing. There's rates that are standardized. There's taxes that are taken out. Like, it's very well monitored from what I understand.
Listen, I've been in the bunny patch before, did a story on it before, and the women I talked to there, now granted, I don't know if they were being coached, because I was doing it as a TV interview, but they all seemed to be very happy in the choices they were making because the money they were making was very good and it was very steady. It was reliable money. Some of these women had kids and families outside of their work. So who are we to judge what they want to do or not do, right?
Also, y'all know how I feel about taxes. You are going to tax me for the work that I have provided. Oh, that's too far for me. I wouldn't make it past the W-2.
You do understand that's what they do for your job now, Felicia.
Yeah, it's included in the price for the consumer.
No, it's different. It's different. Okay. You got to charge a little extra. Okay, service charges. I just took it a step further.
No,
it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me.
Our producer made the joke that they're surprised you even live in Illinois with the taxes we have.
You're
Good
right.
point,
Well, tell
Like,
her that's why I don't live in California.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, we got to get to this story because this raised a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah.
Columbia University in New York really caught some people off guard and got a lot of fire after being accused of having segregated graduation ceremonies. We'll explain. So traditionally, Native, Asian, Latino, Black, LGBT, and low-income and first-generation families, they're offered this additional graduation ceremony. It's optional. They can do it, right, Felicia?
That's correct. So Columbia informed everyone through a tweet saying that the ceremonies are open to everyone. They're voluntary, and they're usually organized by members of these groups. So this is not something that's just unique to Columbia University or unheard of. I know that I have a friend that said Mizzou does this with the Black Student Union, and I also know that they've done this in Urbana-Champaign as well with University of Illinois. So it is not uncommon. But this is also, I think the bigger question is that we need to be asking is, why do these groups feel the need to have a separate ceremony? A lot of times when minorities go to these institutions, they are part of their groups and they have their own communities because they don't feel included, welcomed, or to be made a priority at these institutions. And so that's the real question is, why is this something that's needed? You guys know I went to a HBCU, a historically Black university, for this exact reason, because I wanted to feel at home and a part of a community. And I know not everybody can go to an HBCU, but that's why I'm a huge proponent of them.
Yeah, because my first thought was like, well, why can't we all be included in one ceremony and make it all inclusive? And I'm thinking kumbaya, but then I'm like, well, maybe it doesn't adhere to certain communities, celebratory habits, or, whatever feels good in your community and you want to celebrate and do it your way. Maybe it doesn't feel the same way. So maybe you got to do a breakout. And so in that respect, I'm like, well, that's a great idea. Or the universities need to then start being a little bit more progressive in the fact that they have to acknowledge that they have these groups and maybe hold ceremonies a little differently.
Honestly, and this will come as a giant shock to you all, I think the internet overreacted today. Because like at U of I, you mentioned, Felicia, there's lavender graduation too. Now, I was still straight in college.
Wait,
so
explain what a lavender graduation is.
So that's LGBTQ. So, and it wasn't like, oh, we all need to be together to celebrate because we feel oppressed by everyone else, although of course there's some truth to it. Again, I didn't go to the ceremony, but I have a lot of friends that went to it and we all talked through it. It was more like, these are my friends and I want my parents to meet my friends and I want to meet my friends' parents. Right? Because like at the assembly hall at U of I, you graduate with 12,000 of your best friends. Right. So you bring it into college, you start to meet, right. You bring it into college or the specific department. Like, I just think it's like a natural thing to be like, I want you to meet the people that I was close with in college. I don't think it's as big. We are so underrepresented. Now, that's another issue, which of course is true in many ways.
Right.
But
the issue is not with the ceremony. The issue is why these ceremonies have been created. That's where the issue lies, and nobody's asking that question.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as nefarious as, oh, we created them because X, Y, and Z. I think it's just because I want a smaller group with the people that I've been with for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, and listen, I did that with my friends and family. We had a smaller celebration after graduation just because I wanted my parents to meet my friends. It had nothing in that. I'm not in some group, but just that's what we wanted to do. So it makes sense across the board, right? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Because I was just screaming. So this is a perfect segue for this story. Disneyland, Universal Studios, and Magic Mountain will be reopening next month. But hold on. Very limited capacity and only in-state visitors to start. Shh. Don't start screaming with excitement or frustration just yet. As part of the COVID restrictions, all the parks will likely have to take steps to ensure no screaming, no singing, or heavy breathing on the rides to prevent the spread of COVID. So how do you go down the ride or go upside down and go? That's going to be it.
Right. Well, air still came out. Your mouth was still open. It's still dangerous, Amy.
I held my breath.
This sounds like, good luck trying to do that on a roller coaster. But this sounds so sad. Who wants to go to the happiest place on earth and wear a mask? That's what we're trying to escape from. We're trying to escape from COVID.
Whoa. You can still wear a mask and be happy. They're just talking about you can't scream. and they're going to change seatings, which if you're wearing a mask, why not be able to scream, right?
Yes, I think this is like one of those rules that is there just so that they can say later that it was there.
We tried.
And then they can't be held liable. Yeah, like we tried. I know that they did this at some of the theme parks that opened up across the world, like in April and May, and it was a big brouhaha. But I mean, like, how can you not? You're going to do it. You're outside. Yeah. I just keep on thinking, Amy, sorry, going back one story of what group you would have granted. I think, would there be like an animal print girl group that you could have had a smaller ceremony with? You rock it.
The Cheetah
I bet
Girls.
you did in college. Yeah,
Cheetah-licious.
the Cheetah Girls. There you go.
I graduated with all the TV dorks, right? We all graduated together, and my parents came to the after ceremony with all the TV dorks.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, what's up?
TV dork.
Hey,
all right, guys, coming up, how one tweet cost a man $500,000. That's coming up in my digital report. And we're partnering with Kara and CD1 Price to collect work attire to help Chicagoans get back on their feet. Drop off gently used or new business attire at Chicagoland CD1 Price stores now through March 31st. We've got all the donation details at cw26chicago.com. All right, it's time for your digital report. So there's a new app out there that tracks all that content you've been getting through in quarantine. It's called Sofa, like the sofa you sit on to watch the content. We've seen movie tracking apps before, but this lets you organize everything. We're talking movies, TV shows, podcasts, books, board games, video games. And it's free for iPhones and iPads.
Wait,
this is great because
quick question.
I'm one of those people. Yes.
Can you
Okay.
download them on this app too? Because I found like in the past, that's where I had problems with the other app. Like it streamed it, but you could only stream them from there. You couldn't download them.
Yeah, I don't think you can
Do you know?
download them from the app. I don't think you can. I haven't dug that deep into it, but yes, you can have an iCloud.
It just tracks
connection.
it. It just kind of tracks it for you. It's easier. Brandon, can you explain what a sofa is again one more time? For those of us
It's a thing you sit on. keeps your tushy
There we
nice and
go.
warm. You know, so
That's
that
why
when you're
he's
watching,
the expert.
Yeah.
When you're watching 10 hours of content, you don't, get
Like,
uncomfortable.
who's watching this television program that doesn't know what a sofa is? And here comes Brandon to help us out.
Listen, this is an educational program, okay, for the kids out there. Put SOFA. Say it with me. SOFA. All right. All right, guys. How about this one? This is wild. A man got scammed out of 10 Bitcoin by a fake Elon Musk's Twitter account. Now, how much do you think 10 Bitcoin is? Anybody?
No idea.
That doesn't sound like a lot, does it?
564,000. It's on the graphic.
Oh, dang it. Yeah, it is on the screen. $564,000. So much for the element of surprise. The account looked like Musk. Same photo, similar name, even had a little blue check mark probably in the profile photo. It claimed that if you sent Bitcoin to a certain link, you would earn twice as much back. Big shot. He did not get twice as much back.
This is the issue with all this everything digital banking, digital Bitcoin, which I still don't fully understand.
Now, Brandon,
listen.
Instead of explaining what a sofa is, could you tell us what Bitcoin is? Because I still don't get it. So.
It's so confusing.
It is a cryptocurrency that is digital and supposedly is worth a lot of money. But I don't see the money, so at some point it's going to pay off. They say at some point.
They say
in 2073, right? Okay.
Oh boy.
And talk about petty. This is super petty. Adobe was apparently really upset that someone found a way to download an old version of Adobe Reader. Adobe Reader, a software that helps you read PDFs. And when I say old, I mean old. Like the 80s, okay? It's from an operating system no one even uses anymore. Adobe was so upset. Why do they care? Well, they were so upset. Right. They sent a cease and desist order to a bot account that tweeted about it. They really got their panties in a bunch here. It's a problem.
Their e-panties are in a bunch.
These are the tech people. So, those the tech experts, gurus, like they take this stuff really seriously. That's why people are sitting around trying to hack them and get all the information and everything. So they felt like they were violated as a company historically, and they had to fight back.
They didn't lose their Bitcoin, though.
Yeah, the historic prized institution of Adobe Reader. How could you be smirching? Not Adobe.
All those pictures of like what Adobe used to look like is like what TV shows of the 90s, like when they're like, let's log on the computer now. That's what it looked like.
I didn't know Adobe was that old, to be honest.
Girl, yeah, for sure.
I didn't know Adobe existed in the 80s.
Well,
why
hold
would
on to your
it?
Hold on to your chairs, everyone. Yes, chair is something you sit on. Let's take a live look outside at what's happening with our weather forecast. Rainy day on the Kennedy Expressway. That's the Whirly Ball cam. Can't even see downtown. That's a crying shame. We're going to have rain throughout the night tonight and into tomorrow, too. If we got the future cast and roll on that, that's 7 o'clock tonight, 8, kind of on and off. Picking up in a little intensity in the morning, then, kind of a rainy day, especially south suburbs into northwest Indiana. And then our 7-day forecast shows some clearing, some warming up, and really a great weekend and start to early next week before a rainy but warm next week. Back to Poper, give and go.
All right, just ahead, the luck of the Irish is all we've got against some St. Pat's trivia. Almost did an Irish accent there, but I fought the urge. We'll be right back.
The Irish luck.
Paddy wagon. I don't know.
You need like that word, you know? Like coffee gets me into my Boston accent.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
I can do Australian. Good all I might. That means good day, mates.
We rolling? This tradition started of dyeing the river green in 1969 because...
62.
I'm gonna go with 84.
I'm gonna go with 84 for no reason other than just cuz.
62.
That's a tough one. I feel like it's Boston.
I'm gonna say Boston.
I'm gonna say Boston. I feel like they have a big one. I don't know.
Let's go with Boston.
Maybe it's New York. No, I'll go with Boston. Boston's got a lot of Irish people based on a couple movies I've seen.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. There's 7 colors in a rainbow. LGBT.
Red, yellow,
orange,
Purple, indigo.
Blue.
Follow me on Instagram at It's Christopher Green.
Oh, false.
I have gotten royal drunk.
I don't even want to think about it.
One time on St. Patrick's Day, I came home and I ate about a third of a frozen pizza without realizing I hadn't cooked it yet.
I can't remember because I was sloppy drunk.
True. Krista Green has never gotten sloppy drunk because she is a young, respectable, professional young lady.
Yeah, right.
She likes to pretend like she's a goody two-shoe, but that girl, woo, she's got a wooden leg.
Well, John just strikes me as the sloppiest drunk of the group no matter what holiday it is.
Maybe.
You put a liquor in that face and I can just see that exploding everywhere.
John gets a little messy.
I could definitely see John Hanson getting sloppy.
Amy has red hair, so gluggity, gluggity, gluggity.
I can't see Brandon loosening up enough to be Irish.
I know it's hard to believe. Good old family-friendly Brandon Pope.
He's like a 90-year-old man stuck in a 29-year-old man's body.
It's true. I'm an old soul, but women enjoy older people.
True.
But of course Chicago is. We light it up.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I don't know. We go big, but I don't think it's us. Shoot. True.
Yes, true. Absolutely true.
Top of the morning to ya. Who wants to take a shot?
That's cute.
Right.
It would have
That
been
was
cuter
cute.
if I was in it, but it's cute.
But you were on
in South
vacation.
Africa.
So you're the
All the fun
last
stuff
person to
always
ever get a
happens when I'm on
vacation.
vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old days back.
We're like all reminiscing because like it was in the studio and that was like right before we left last year. So I'm glad we got to do it. Show off DJ Mustafa rocks. That was nice to see him as well.
I miss him.
I miss Mustafa.
Me too.
Brandon, we need to go out together with some green drinks and show these ladies a good old time.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, wait, are y'all saying you're going to take us out? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I'll pay for
Where are
everything.
their
I'll pay
dates?
for a night of drink for everyone if we do it.
It's a
Well,
date.
you know what you
Wow.
just said, John Hanson. You do not know what you just said.
Wow.
Limit,
Take that.
limit 3 per staffer. We'll be back.
Amy, lead for my question.
For my question, for John's part. So like,
Let's go back to John.
no,
Kind of thing.
lead when it's my turn to go.
Oh, gotcha. But I don't. Okay. I'll figure it out. I'm a smart person.
All right, everyone, get out your Shamrock shakes that we all got from McDonald's, although I know, Amy, you can't drink those. So what do you have?
I have a sour green water.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay.
What does that
We're gonna
mean?
do I don't know.
you're
We're gonna do
better.
name 3. So we're gonna have something 3 on the thing. You gotta name 3 of those things in 5 seconds. If you don't get it, you are going to have to chug for 5 seconds of your thing. Okay? Yeah.
Ew.
We're gonna do it. All right. So Fel, you're going first. You ready?
No.
You have to name 3. Here we go. Name 3 colors associated with St. Patrick's Day. Go.
Orange, green, and white.
Yeah, all right.
Very good.
That'll
I
count,
was
right?
gonna say
That's a
that.
good
Chug,
one.
baby.
She don't
I'll
got to chug
still chug.
anything. All right, let's go with Amy. Ready? Name 3 things you have to make in Irish coffee.
Coffee, Bailey, and cream.
Yeah, nice job.
Isn't
Give a little
Bailey's
drink anyway.
cream? Interesting.
Bailey's and cream. You can do separate things.
Yes,
You can do
Bailey's
Irish.
and
There's a
cream.
lot of things.
Whipped
All
cream.
right, Brandon. Brandon's gonna chug here. I have a prediction. All right, here we go. Name 3, Brandon. Places to party in Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. Go.
The lodge, the river, your house.
No,
There we go.
that doesn't count. No, you didn't get that last one in.
Yeah, I
That
did.
don't count. That don't
You could have
count.
just said a bunch
right.
of Irish names and been
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
drink it up.
Hold on. Get
So how
that
do you
straw
chug
out of
this?
there. Get that straw out of there.
Yeah, let's
Get
see
that
this,
lid
Brandon.
off of there.
Well, it's
And
all
chug.
soupy now. Okay.
I don't
Yeah, that's
care.
the point.
Even
Drink
better.
it fast and down.
Hurry
Okay,
up.
you ready? Oh boy,
Yeah,
it's gonna
this is a real
spill.
speedy game. Oh my gosh, come on, Brandon. Can you chug? There it is.
Chug, 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 chug,
Wow.
All
It's not a
right.
good chug.
All right,
All
let's
right,
get
hold
back to John
You got a
Hanson.
milk
All right, John
mustache now.
Hanson, your term. Name 3 things a leprechaun wears.
A hat, shoes, and a shirt like a human? I don't know. I'll chug.
Sounds right to me.
I'll
But
chug.
chug
Put
it
those
anyway.
5 seconds on the clock. We gotta go. Okay.
This tastes way better than I expected.
It
Oh,
actually
that
is
hurts my
kind of
stomach
good.
just looking at it.
I
Oh,
could
I
use
can't
some
say
Gonna
it.
be
more
my
there.
dinner. This is
I
I
cannot
thought it was
even
going to be gross.
That looks
Yeah.
so painful. Just watching
Oh,
it makes
well-
my stomach hurt.
Hey, cheers. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Cheers.
Chug a lug.